Hey guys, this is Heretic, and in this guide we're going to go over all things Archer and Cavalry, including why you would want to pick this combination, when to make the switch, what the early goals and statistic technology priorities are, and how to focus your equipment, your Zodiac, Colossus, and your artifact selection. And I'm going to go over the formations you should use when fighting with the focus on the primary strength of cavalry and archery setup, which is solo attacks. Before we get started though, please take a minute and like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I try to release between 3 to 5 videos per week just like this, so there's a lot to go through here. So let's go ahead and get started. So why go Archer and Cav? Well, the main reason is because not as many people do it. I would guess that about 95% of people go mage. So much so that the majority of people, when they start building their stats, the recommendation is to build up your reduced damage incoming from mages. Not many people are going to build up their reduced damage incoming from archers. So, although mages are amazing and they do more damage than an archer, because more people are building up that reduced damage from mages in PvP, archers tend to do a little bit better, from my experience so far. Another thing, in the beginning, when you're building up, the first people who move over to Cav, it's going to be a lot easier for them in battle. The Cav and Archer setup is tailor-made for solo attacks. Archers have more health and defense than a mage. A little bit lower damage, but like I said, because most people are building up that reduced damage incoming from mages instead of archers, that tends to balance that out. But because they have more health, you throw in all your angels with it, and you're super powerful. I can show you here just from just a few minutes ago an attack. And you can see, I mean, this is just one where, you know, just that setup with my Cav and my archers can just kind of chew through. Same thing here. This guy has better stats than the previous one, and he is built around Cav and mages. And you can see here, same kind of results. You can speed up, go through, same kind of results. I really enjoy the, you know, having a little bit different setup than most people. It does, because people are building around the majority, which makes sense. That's what I do. I don't build up my reduced damage incoming from archers. I do mages as well. It just gives you a little bit of an advantage. And that's why I would recommend going Cav and archers. So when should you go Cav archer? Well, you'll be archer from the beginning, so you'll be archer infantry from the very beginning. The next question is, when should you go Cav? Now, people are going to tell you different things. Some people are going to say, wait till you get to 35, 36, wait till you have the stun, which is here in the Mystic College. Your timing is going to depend on where you are with your Mystic College and kind of the way that you want to go. If you want to wait until you get your Savage Impact for the stun, or if you want to wait until you get, you know, 9% or 8.5% dodge, you can do that. That's 100% valid. I started making the switch when I got level 1 of dodge, which is just 3%. So now I'm at level 2 dodge. It makes sense. It's early. So again, because the realm is so new, making this switch as one of the first people, I had a little bit more leeway. If you're in an older realm, you'll want to wait maybe until you do have the Savage Impact or the 8.5% dodge. But it's all going to depend on this, and it's going to depend on how many cav that you have trained. So let's say you are tier 10 and you're 33, somewhere in there, and you want to make the switch like I did. It's going to be all tier 10. You're going to need to, I'm sorry, I'm wrong there. On the cav, you're going to want both your tier 10 and you're going to want tier 2. Your tier 2 are going to be your meat shields. So, and we'll get to the formation in a little bit later, but if you're doing a non-SOS attack, you're going to want to have enough tier 2 cav with you so that when you do take losses, you're losing the easy ones to replace, not your tier 10. When you get to tier 11, you'll want your tier 3. But we'll get to formations later. So it's going to depend on the number of cav that you've actually built up. So if you do have, your 40% of your march, in cav, then you're a little bit closer. It's a little bit easier to make that decision than if you're still all infantry. Don't worry about making that decision. I mean, you can go ahead and train your dodge if you're infantry, but you're going to have to build up that cav before you actually switch over to the cav in your marches. So it's kind of obvious, right? Right, so for stats, you're going to have to balance between cavalry, HP, and defense, reduce damage versus mages. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. Angel HP, which I know I'm working on. It's not that great. Still working on that a lot. Angel defense, angel damage, angel attack. And so you're, again, if angels are the most powerful troop that you actually have. So what you want to do is you want to focus first on your cav health. You want to keep your cav alive because they're going to be at the front. The longer they stay alive, the more damage you're actually going to be able to do to your opponents. You want to keep them alive. So you want reduction as far as the damage that they're actually taking from mages or otherwise. You want to increase their health and their defense, right? So you want to keep them alive. After that, you want to focus on angels because angels will do the most amount of damage. And then after that, you'll want to focus on your actual archer damage. So it would be, your cav first, reducing the damage from mages because mages are who you're going to face the most. Your angel HP, defense, damage, and attack. Then your archer damage because damage is more important than attack, and then archer attack after that. You also want to get increased damage while attacking, and you want to decrease the damage taken while attacking. Then, finally, the last two things I would kind of focus on would be your cav attack and your archer health. Next, we'll go over where you can actually raise these stats. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about where you actually get your stats. Let's start at the place that you're going to get the most stats from, and it's going to be the easiest. You get those at the blacksmith. So I picked for level 30, and I'm going to go over level 30 and level 35 here, gear, that you're going to want as an archer cav player. You're going to want the Dusk Ode weapon. It's going to give you the double archer attack. You're going to want the Blessing Belt because it's going to give you the cav HP. You're going to get the Dark Lord Guard. It's going to give you the archer attack, and it's also going to give some cav attack. You'll want the Templar Crown for the double cav HP. And the army size limit. Don't forget about that. Get the Dragon Scale Armor for the cav defense primarily, and the archer defense isn't bad either to have. And for the boots, get the dusk boots. They give the archer attack, cav attack. All right, so let's take a look at the level 35 gear. When you're level 35, what you should actually get. You should get the fiery crossbow. And it's going to give you the double archer attack and cav attack and march speed. Great weapon. For the helmet, you're going to want to get the royal crown here. It'll give you the double cav HP and army size limit and your angel limit. So all of those skills are perfect. For the belt, you're going to want to get the radiance belt at 35. It's going to give you archer attack, cav HP, angel HP, and raise wounded limit. I mean, that's good. Always good to have. For the armor, you're going to want to get the celestial armor here. It's going to give you the double cav defense and stamina recovery. It's not bad to have either on some gear. And your accessory for level 35 would be the perfect heart, which would give you the archer attack and angel attack. Amazing. So that will help out quite a bit. And for 35, you're actually going to want to stick with your dusk boots at level 30, which would give you the cav and the archer attack. Because at 35, you could potentially go here with the monarch for the cav HP, which is always great to get. But, it's kind of recommended to go ahead and stick with this archer attack here because you'll pick up the cav HP in other places. All right, so now let's go over to the enhancements. And I don't have all of the ideal enhancements here, but you'll want to go with damage increased while attacking. You'll want to go with reduces damage taken from mages as one of the primary things you'll want to get. And you can see I actually doubled those up here. You'll want to get damage taken reduced when attacking and damage increased when attacking. So you're damaging others, goes up. The damage you actually take when you're attacking goes down. The damage you receive from mages go down. All of those are to help your front line. The damage increased when attacking, that's for your back line. And so for this last one, if I had the perfect one to choose from, I would have damage increased against infantry would be a great one to have here. Damage increased against angels would be pretty darn good as well. And probably for third place would be the archer attack, which is what I have for now. I'll switch that out later. So that's for your enchantments. Now let's move over to the Star Palace. So in the Star Palace, I'm going to rank these. So for your level 1, you'll want to get Ares. And your Ares will have cav attack, angel attack, your cav HP, all great ones to get. Sagittarius, it will give you your archer attack, archer damage, which is a hard thing to get. Next, I would want to go with Libra, if I can find it here real quick. There's Libra. Libra will give you your archer attack, cav HP, and it reduces the damage taken from angels. And your angel recruitment speed goes up. So all 4 of those are great to have. And for the tier 1, most important ones to get, Cancer as well, because you would get your cav HP, your archer attack, and reducing damage from archers is also pretty good as well. So that's for the tier 1. The tier 2 here, let me go back. The tier 2 would be your Taurus. think I have blue. It has Cav HP and Cav attack. Your Virgo, there's Virgo, has Archer attack, which is good. Your Gemini, if I can find Gemini. Where's Gemini? Where's Gemini at? Where are you hiding, Gemini? There's Gemini. Gemini has your Angel attack and Cav attack. Both of those are good. Next, for the third tier, I would go Aquarius. There we go. Here's Aquarius. Because it has your damage increased against infantry, which is one of the skills you'll be looking for. And last but not least is Scorpio. Scorpio has your Angel HP, Cav attack, and damage increased against angels, which are all 3 useful skills. So I left off Pisces because it doesn't have anything really. It has some Cav attack, not horrible. I'd probably put that in the 4th tier. Capricorn has infantry attack, infantry HP, mage attack, mage damage, and max recruitment. You could get it for the recruitment, but again, I wouldn't focus on that one. If you had to pick, I would go with the list that I show here. Next, I would go to your artifacts. So in your artifacts, I would focus on, first is the budget. So as you're kind of building up, you would want to go with the Chukonu. Has the Archer attack, Archer HP, Archer damage, which are all useful. Durandal it has your Archer attack and attack boost, which are great to have. I like the Holy Robe is also pretty good too as you move up. All right. So next once you get to your orange, your gold tier of artifacts, you would want to go with the Excalibur, which is your budget, which you can get, and it is excellent all the way across. Excellent for you. Attack boost is its level 1. Level 2, you get Cav attack, then army size limit as you go up to level 3. The infantry attack isn't any good, but the troop damage at the 6-star is great if you can get to that. The skill is okay, it's not great. But for a budget orange that you can get through the monster swarm, you can get 6 fragments each time that comes up. Next, I would go with the Heavenly Spear is excellent all the way across. Archer HP, attack boost, attack troop damage, and archer damage. The Apollo's Bow would be the #1 artifact that you would want to ideally have. It's going to have archer attack. The skill is amazing. I'm going to have a completely different video that just goes over all the skills that you can get and all of artifacts in general. The Kalidafitch is awesome. Every single line in here is amazing. Starting with your default stat, which is to reduce the damage taken from mages, then increase damage against angels, Cav attack, attack boost, HP boost, and Cav HP at plus 22 for your star 6. Amazing. And the artifact skill is epic there. I like the golden armor. It's what I'm working on right now to protect my front line. It reduces damage taken from mages. It has Cav defense, Cav HP, HP boost, damage reduction for Cav, and damage reduction for the whole army. Every single one of these skills are what you will want. All of these stats are very useful. There's not a single stat that's not useful here for you. The skill that you get is okay. It's going to reduce the damage of troops that that attack your castle by 5%. You're not going to get attacked a lot. You don't really focus on the defensive side usually. especially for Archer Cav, because your strength is gonna be your solo attacks. So these are the actual artifacts that you should go through. If you can get Lave, it's great. I know it's not easy to get. Army size limit, attack boost, the artifact skill is amazing. It reduces damage from mages at the level 3. It's a great one to have. So there you go for the artifacts. Alright, so on your emblems, so this should be pretty easy to figure out, you know. Your guard emblem is going to raise the amount of angels you can have. It's going to make it easier to get your angel dust there, to make more of them. Your commander is going to give you additional army size limit, which is always great. And your justice is going to give you that cav HP that you want. And your faith emblem is going to give you your archer attack, which you really want. So those would be the ones that you would want to focus on. Now let's go to the beast. So on the beast, you're eventually going to get to the point where you're going to want to kind of trade some of these skills around. Right now, I'm using the force expansion, which increases the max size of the marching army. I'm using the attack expert, which just raises the attack. And I'm using the life source, which raises the max HP of all armies to 13.6%. If I can get my cav HP up to around 200 or maybe a little bit higher, not including this, then I would want to actually swap out to the resist magic as being the the next big thing that I would want, because I would want to be shooting for around, at least where I am right now at level 34, I would want to be shooting for around 100% resist magic and 200% cav health. Around there is what I want to be. And around, if I can get to 280 or so on the angel attack buffed, I'll take it. And that's where I'd want to be. Don't forget with your other skills that you get here with the Phoenix, the Rebirth has angel attack. Again, it's gonna make it easier to get your Guardian Force there. It's amazing to have. The other thing that you're gonna want to do is in Beast Talents, you're gonna want to raise the HP of your cav there, and you're gonna want to increase the attack of your archers here. And as you go on, there's so many great talents here as you go through that you'll want to get. So I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but obviously Beast Talents is a place where I think people kind of overlook, especially in a new realm, and you'll want to actually focus on that as you go. If I can get to level 25 and actually evolve this again, I would keep the health and then put in the reduced damage from mages. Or if I got my health high enough, I would drop off the health and then have the anti-infantry skill there. Because that's what I want to do. Especially right now, because I'm not facing very many cav focus players. I'm facing almost all infantry mages. So I would definitely want to focus on that to knock those guys down, because those are the ones I'm facing. So that's where you're going to get the majority of your stats. I overlooked the Colossus here. I have another video on the Colossus. Obviously, the Colossus, you're going to want to start off with your cav. Once you do your switch to cav, you're going to want to get up to 70 with your your cav statue. And you want to do that. You're going to get your attack boost here. You're going to get some cav HP, cav defense, taking less damage from mages, especially here, is good. And then you'll want to switch over to your archer. and focus on your archer attack and doing damage to infantry. Eventually you'll get up to the point where you get this HP boost and reduce damage from angels, which is also great. So this is where you're going to get the majority of your statistics. All right, and next we're going to talk about your battle marches, your formations. Let's talk about your battle formations, your marches. So I'm going to go over to the drill grounds. I'm going to go to marching army and have a few set up here. So this is my tier 10 SOS. I'm going to have about 40% in my tier 10 cav. I'm going to have as many angels as I can possibly fit. And then the rest will be in my tier 10 archers. Now, the same thing would go for your tier 11. So if you're in tier 11, if you have tier 11 and you have a full march at tier 11, you would go 40% tier 11 cav. The rest, as many angels as you've got, and then the rest in your tier 11 archer. Super simple. You're going to be a straight line going out. All right. So what if you have a mix? So I have a mix, and I'm going to show you what that means. So I don't have a full march of my tier 11 cav or my tier 11 archers. So I have to switch things up just a little bit here. I'm going to have all my tier 10 cav, up to that, or my tier 11 cav up to that 40%. I don't have 40%, so I'm going to put the 50,000 I have here. Same thing on archers. I'm going to use all my archers that I have if you don't, if it's not a whole lot, right? Then I'm going to go with my angels as high as I can. I'm going to add a one tier 10 mage to kind of balance things out. I'm going to use, then I'm going to fill in, to get my 40% front line. I'm going to add another 50,000 dragon riders, my tier 10 cav, and then the rest in my tier 10 archers. So that's for the mix march SOS. So now, what about your non-SOS? So this is where it kind of, gets interesting because you could actually lose here. So in your tier 10 non-SOS and in non-SOS in general, you're not going to use your angels. Now, this is in a normal kind of Civil War type thing where you're going to lose, maybe even void, where you're going to lose your angels. You don't want to lose angels because they're way too valuable. They're too hard to replace. You can only get a limited amount every day. So you're going to get your 40% front line, and then you're going to add, where it's going to be a little bit different here, you're going to add low level cav to kind of take that that damage, those losses. You want those losses to be, if you're in tier 10, you're going to use, for example, you're going to use tier 10 cav, and look down here, I am going to use tier, if I get down far enough, my tier 2 cav. So I'm going to use 20k tier 2 cav here, and if I take losses, they're all going to come from that tier 2 cav, and I'm not going to care because they are really easy to replace. All right, and then you're going to want the rest over your 40%. So your 60% of your march would be in your tier 10 archers. So straight line, no angels this time. All right, so now if I go to, the same thing would be for your tier 11. You do the same thing, a little bit of a difference. So you would use your tier 11 cav, about, let's say 30%. You'd want to use 10% tier 3 cav. So odd goes with odd. So you would want, then your tier 3 would take the deaths, not your tier 11, and you would be good to go. The rest you would put in your tier 11 archers. Now, what about a mix? So I have a mix, and I'm just going to show a mix because it's interesting to me. At least I hope it is to you. So in a mix, I'm going to use, about 20%, or actually less, probably about 15% tier 11 cav, about 15% tier 10 cav, and then about 10%, about 5% tier 3 cav, 5% tier 2 cav. I'm going to use my tier 11 archers and my tier 10 archers. And I'm going to use one mage here. My one tier 10 mage here. And that tier 10 mage is going to help balance out that line. That's why I'm using it. So it's just balancing out the line there. All right, so let's see how this works in action. Let's go ahead and go out and do a, oops, wrong place. If I can click the right place. Come on, heretic. So I'm going to go over to the handy dandy ruins. And I am going to find a victim. And hopefully the victim is not me. Hey, Brumple. Shout out to Brumple. He may beat me. Wouldn't that be cool? So I'm going to do a plunder here. And I'm going to go with my mix SOS. Alright. Got my one mage there. Let's see what happens. Let's let this roll and see what happens. So here we go out. You can see this back line with that one mage over there. It looks kind of funny, doesn't it? Alright, I'm gonna watch them move up. They're taking out his front line, took out his angels. The rest is gonna be history here because once his angels go, well, there's not much left. So, my front line was able to hold up. My angels were able to hold up. And, if that front line lives, then, if you have enough behind them to do enough damage, then you're just going to, run through it. And so that's kind of what happened there. All right. So, I hope this guide helps. If you do have any feedback or any questions, let me know in the video. Leave a like if this helped, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to release between 3 and 5 videos a week that are like this. All right, so take care.
Job, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my